You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
You've had a long day at work, and you can't wait to just get home, take off your shoes, plop yourself down in your favorite chair, and relax. You walk up to your tranquil residential home and your neatly manicured lawn in your quiet suburban neighborhood, put the key in the lock, open the door, and... Yes, the pets have gone wild! What were you thinking? Welcome to the show about everything you always wanted to know about exotic pets. Where to get them, what to feed them, and how to care for them. You'll even find out why some people live with a monkey. Now, here's your host, exotic pet expert and author Bob Tart. Hey, Bob, what were you thinking?
So, here we are at, is it Diana's Restaurant, Bill?
Yes.
And, you're already transfixed by some vision?
No, I was just looking at the beautiful clock made out of a giant slice of
Toast?
timber.
Oh. Because I was going to say, I saw someone with something that looked like that on their plate. I was kind of tempted to get it.
I ordered it. I ordered it too.
Yeah, I mean, put a little syrup on that.
Oh.
So
what are we doing here?
Well, this is part 2 of our fabulous feather-brained Magee Marsh show. And it is...
Have we done any yet?
Any what?
Stuff on this yet?
No, I don't think so. But I noticed to my chagrin... Oh, good coffee. This is good coffee here. Here at lovely Diana's Restaurant, Port Clinton, Michigan.
Ohio.
Here in lovely Diana's Restaurant, Port Clinton, Ohio, home of the Bark on the Wall burger. That there were more birds in the parking lot of the Sleep-In Motel this morning than there were in all of Magee Marsh yesterday.
Yes, indeed. So we're not going to do any more birding today.
Well, we are, but we're going to do all our birding at the Sleep-In.
That's what I meant. Yeah. I was going to stay in the car, and hopefully the moisture from the beginning of the day that settled on the car will dissipate so we can see outside.
That's a very good idea. And now, I don't know if you have had a chance this morning to drink in the full awesome spectacle of my person, but I'm wearing a different pair of pants than I had on yesterday, because it turns out, in a different pair of jeans, that somehow by accident, I left my pants on the boardwalk of Magee Marsh.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So that explains why there weren't any people there.
Maybe they'll be hung over the railing of the boardwalk by a kind birder.
Don't say hangover this morning. Maybe they will, and maybe an oven bird will have made a nest in the pocket.
Well, that would be wonderful.
That would be wonderful. Yeah. So we're going back to, all joking aside, all good-natured joking aside, as we sit here in Diana's Restaurant sipping, this is good coffee.
It's really good coffee. I haven't tried the water yet.
Well, the coffee's made with water.
Oh.
So I think it's mighty good. You know, this water comes right from Put-In Bay. They don't even have to filter it or anything. They just siphon it.
Really?
Yep.
They siphon it?
They have a siphon that goes right to the coffee pot from Put-In Bay.
That's amazing. No wonder it's so good.
Yeah, it is good. So we're going to go to Magee Marsh. And one of the reasons that there were so few birds was that, I don't think if we've explained the logistics of bird migration, but
we can.
Because what happens is that the birds, of course, but some of these birds are just down in Florida, but others are perhaps in the islands of the Caribbean, or maybe even the Bahamas, or perhaps some of these birds are in Mexico or in South America. I know dickcissels are all the way in South America, but those aren't warblers, and we won't be seeing them because that's more of a grassland bird. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
So anyway, these birds are coming north. Yes. Birds are coming to north, and they like to hitchhike. They like to hitchhike on, but not...
That explains the dick sissel on my car.
Yes. that explains that. But most of them hitchhike on the weather fronts.
Oh.
And so we get these warm weather fronts coming up, rolling across the plains. And we just haven't had any of those this year. We've had nothing but cold fronts going in the wrong direction. So apparently there was a bit of a warm front over the weekend that brought some birds up here, and no other warm front. And so since then, birds have been grumbling, and a few of them just took off because they couldn't stand it anymore.
Where'd they go?
They went north anyway, across Lake Erie, stopping at Put-in Bay for some family fun. But my neck is a little sore today, and you haven't even almost snapped my head off yet by veering to avoid a veery. I'm jealous. I'm bitter because you saw a veery yesterday.
Well, it wasn't my fault.
Seeing the veery?
Yeah. No. I saw a bird on a log I thought was the woodcock. And the woman next to me said it was a veery.
Now, when you saw that log, did you get a little hungry for breakfast at Diana's?
I had to check my watch.
Yeah. So that's really the scientific explanation for the birds at Magee Marsh, or Magee Marsh, as some folks like to call it.
I just thought the place had been birded out.
Yes. Thank you very much. Oh, that looks good.
Oh, this looks good.
Yes, and that was fast service.
Yeah.
I'm digging these home fries.
Look at them all.
Estuary trail today.
Ah.
What do you think?
It's a beautiful day. The forecast, weather-wise, has been wrong every minute that we've been here.
Because it looks a little bit sunny.
Yes, and it says it's foggy right now, but it's not in reality.
Well, did you trust your lion eyes? Mr. Eagle?
Oh, boy.
These are first-class eggs. They're definitely
I like
grade A.
fry.
Yes.
That was an Eagles joke.
Oh, that's
Isn't
excellent.
that good?
Did he meet his reward?
Oh, yes, he did.
Okay. Who was that who was in trouble? Someone from one of those groups for...
Meisner? Didn't he just beat up his wife?
Oh, I don't know any Meisner.
Randy Meisner?
Who is he now?
I thought he was in the Eagles.
Oh, okay. He could be.
It could be another person.
He could be. So I have these neck problems because in 1975, my girlfriend at the time, hope you're not listening, Linda, my girlfriend at the time was tailgating, and we had a car accident. And, that's caught up with me finally, that car accident. And so I got a neck problem. And I've been trying I love Facebook because you can reconnect with old friends. And I've been trying to reconnect with Cindy just to shout her out a big howdy and see if I can shake her down for some cash. How's your food?
It's not bad.
It is pretty good.
It's better than eating at the sleep-in breakfast nook.
Yes, and I might take a slice of this Canadian bacon with us just in case that, I know you're a safe driver and everything, but
No, right.
if you see another Veery and we have a blowout, then we got an instant tire patch. So maybe we should save the rest of this and enjoy our breakfast for when we get to Magee Marsh and do a little more intro.
Well, from what I understand, it's impolite to do a podcast with your mouth full.
I seem to remember the
right.
Oh, okay. So we'll be back. A while.
What Were You Thinking? We'll be right back after Bob gets the ducks out of his living room. Don't go away.
You know that feeling when you go to clean the litter box and it's a complete disaster? Yeah, we've got you covered. Introducing World's Best Cat Litter Zero Mess, the advanced litter that gives you 2 times better clumping and more odor control with less litter. Zero Mess combines the concentrated power of corn with super absorbent plant fibers. Translation, scoop once and you're done. Find it at a pet store near you and save $2. Visit www.saveonworldsbest.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com. Okay, ducks are in the pond, rabbits in his hutch, and monkeys Ow! In my car? Oh, okay, well, I go check my insurance policy. We'll turn you back over to Bob.
Well, Bill, here we are at Magee Marsh after all.
Man.
And you were saying something about what a workout this is.
Man, I am just sore. My neck is sore. My shoulder is sore.
Oh, I know it.
And I've been looking up. I mean, I am exhausted.
You know,
I think I need like a heating pad or maybe an ice pack or both.
You know, I like your idea about a special aerobics class where instead of, you come here this time of year and instead of doing like 15 squat thrusts, you have to do 15 yellow rump warblers.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
They hop all over the place all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And for neck mobility, you could do 1 dozen Cape May warblers up high in the tree.
Seriously? Do you do that? Do you do a dozen?
I have never seen a dozen, so no, I don't. So so we're going to head for the estuary trail. Lots of birds. Does it feel like it's about to rain, though?
I don't think so. There's a lot of moisture in the air, however.
There's a lot of moisture in the air.
One thing I wanted to point out was part of the issue with the conditioning and birding is the intensity of the birding today on the boardwalk. There's probably 100 times more people there today.
Yes.
And 100 times more birds. And to try to track them all, it's almost impossible.
Yes, absolutely. And I have to say it's a little bit stressful.
Very stressful, and I'm a little. I can feel my anxiety level increasing as I compete with the other birders to try to jockey for position along the boardwalk. And I've had to do a little elbowing. I've had to do a little kicking, and that may have been affecting my musculature as well.
Did I see you do a suplex on somebody?
Yeah, I did.
In honor of Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Yeah, and a pile driver.
Yeah.
That
you
one,
went right over the boardwalk when you did the pile driver.
I know it. That one kid was just annoying me.
Where did you find the folding chair that you threw at somebody? That was a good stunt. I mean, that was a Rowdy Roddy stunt.
Frankly, I had it stuffed inside my jacket.
Oh, okay. I wondered. I didn't want to say anything, but I wondered what that odd shape was.
Well, I had a feeling it was going to be a little bit intense today, a little bit competitive.
Yes.
And I came prepared.
Oh, here comes a car.
All right, there they go.
Okay. Now, here's something I would like to point out.
Yes.
Yesterday, when I was reading we won't mention any names, but when I was reading the official report of what birds to expect, the official report said that there would be no fallout of new birds until this weekend.
And who's responsible for that report?
That's exactly right. And so today, we come here, and this is totally different than yesterday, isn't it?
Completely. It's like a different place.
Yeah,
it's calm, relatively. The temperature isn't that much warmer, but without that bitterly cold put-in bay wind...
Yes.
It feels like a different world.
Yes, it's sort of like, I think the put-in bay wind turned into the put-out bay wind.
Oh.
Went the other way. It's a little breezy.
Well, we're on the lake. I can see the Lake Erie from here.
I can too. I wondered what that was. I'm glad you told me.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And
I thought maybe it was Crane Creek, and it was a much wider creek than I had anticipated.
Well, the water is high this year. I think I pointed that out yesterday.
You did point that out. Now, before we take a walk to the estrogen trail, let's mention some of the amazing birds we've seen today.
Good idea. Foremost among them, especially for you, is something you've never seen before.
Have you seen them before?
Never, of course not.
Well, you had a recording of one from when you were at Cape May a couple years ago.
Well, yes, but that doesn't count because I didn't know what it was.
Oh, okay. But it was prairie warblers, and we saw at least 2 and possibly 3.
Yes, I even saw one.
And possibly 3.
Well, it's possible. But I look up there and I see things and I say, what the heck is that?
Well, I do too.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw the prothon, of course, again today, but black-throated blues and palm warbler.
Yes, of course, the magnolia.
The magnolia, several magnolias.
Several. The white-crowned sparrow.
Yes, and our friend the butterbutt. Oh, we laughed when we heard that. We laughed when we heard that nickname.
Oh, it's a little naughty.
Yeah, it is a little naughty. So, and northern parula, and we're
is it
here
a parula or a parula?
Well, I got
both on the boardwalk.
I got corrected by someone when I said northern parula, but I refused to say parula.
I frankly, not to be argumentative or to start anything, but I say parula.
Okay, there you go, potato. So maybe we'll head for the estrogen trail and see what's going, because really I just kind of had it with all the, you can hear the traffic right now. It's a traffic jam. There's probably 150 cars. That's because of where we're standing, so maybe we'd better move. But
birder rage is very common here.
But they don't understand that this is an important podcast, and that, if they have to wait, they have to. Come on, you people. Cut us some slack. Hey, we're standing here, okay?
Hey, this is our spot. Hey.
All right, so, okay. So let's head for maybe we'll see some thrushes on the estuary trail.
Uh-huh.
And if that doesn't work, we'll go on the estrogen trail.
I heard there were dancing sandhill cranes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. And here I thought this was going to be a house rent only day.
Boy, were you wrong.
Oh, boy, was I wrong. Okay, so we're going to go, and I'm not really keeping track of the time. It looks like that was only about 5 minutes.
It's hard to keep track of time in this sort of environment where nature is in control, despite all the autos.
Yes. I think we did about 8 minutes or so when we were at the restaurant. So I'm just trying to keep track of time so that I'm not claiming we're filling it all just because we're walking and talking. Oh, maybe you can hear Lake Erie. I'm glad I wear my rubber raincoat because not only is it a little cold today, but I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to cause a panic. But on the boardwalk, I caught a glimpse of Catwoman.
You did?
I did.
Oh, boy. I didn't see Catwoman.
Yeah, so I'm ready for battle.
All right. Well, I'm glad I brought my folding chair.
I wonder if the folks here can hear the pounding surf.
Oh, it's wild out there.
Yes. If I were a little younger, I'd ride the wild surf. Oh, listen. Let's have just
an interlude.
Everyone just center yourself. Center yourself and just meditate a little. All of your cares go washing away.
The sea on the tide has no way of turning.
It can only pull you under. All right. What kind of Boyd is that?
Is that an eagle?
I don't know.
Grayish white. Pale gray, but it's very soft looking. Yeah. So when you see a red-eyed vireo, you'll know that there's this huge.
Popped up. He went up.
Yep.
Now what is that called again?
That's the warbling vireo.
I haven't seen any red-eyed vireos yet.
I did one on the boardwalk a little while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just haven't seen them this year. Yeah, I haven't seen one this year.
Okay, I'm still with you. I'm looking for the water thrush.
Yeah. So he heard it too, so I'm not insane.
No.
Well, that's not the determinant, really.
He's the sound guy for the warbler guy.
Oh, which guy is he?
Tom Stephenson.
Oh, and which guy is he? Oh. Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I asked him.
Oh, very good. Very good. Oh, no.
But I'm going.
I know I am crazy.
Here's the expert on warbling sound. Let's ask.
Is a black hole warbler?
Yeah, I heard him.
That's a warbling vireo. There's a northern wild thrush who's saying very distant.
Yeah. Yeah, there it is, black Paul.
Sounds over here to me.
Yeah.
It can be hard to locate, but
That's a warbling vireo.
yeah.
Okay,
Well,
up there. Wait, you know what? Right behind the warbling vireo, I think is a black hole.
Well, here we are at the estrogen trail, aptly named, as Bill will explain in a moment. But we just passed a couple of guys, and I said, is there anything worth walking to the end of the trail for? And they said...
Well, if you're just interested in birds, yeah, there's a lot of birds.
And they weren't being sarcastic. They were. They had mega lenses and mega cameras. And they didn't realize that we were mega wimps and didn't really want to walk another mile.
No, but they disdained us is what it came down to.
Yes.
I don't think because our cameras were as large as his.
No. But I do think he had bad teeth.
Definitely.
So,
beaver teeth.
Yes, and that may explain why some of the stumps that we saw down here have been gnawed.
Oh, yes, right.
Let's walk back here a little bit. Okay. Oh, just heard a warbling vireo. Now let's. So we saw some good birds on the estrogen trail. Someone pointed out a Canada warbler to us, and we had not seen one of those before. And I got a good look.
I did too. It's a very nice bird.
So
very, yeah,
nice bird. And
no, EH, a Canada warbler.
Oh, take off.
Take off, hoser.
Okay, so I see why the reason why we were walking is suddenly coming back to haunt us. So
we're just going to take a short break.
Yeah. I'm going to look at something on the ground.
We could do some live birding. I could do some play-by-play. Bob has binoculars up to his face, and he's looking into the dense thickets. Now, what is he looking at? He's being very quiet because he doesn't want to disturb the bird. And there, I see it bouncing around. It's going up, it's going down, it's going to the left, it's going to the right.
It's probably a catbird. Anyway, do you want to tell a little story about the northern water thrush?
So we just stopped because Bob heard what he called choo-choo-choo.
That was the end of the call.
Which he claimed was a northern water thrush. A woman appeared out of nowhere to question him.
She pointed out another bird, which was a Swainson's thrush.
The Swainson's thrush. We saw the Swainson's thrush, and she assumed that you were mistaken in your identification.
When I clearly said I had heard, not seen.
Exactly, and she did not believe you.
I don't look like an authority, do I?
No. I mean, you didn't write the book, let's put it that way.
And we'll get to that. I did write a book, but not that one.
Featherbrained from the University of Michigan Press.
In bookstores now.
Available anywhere and everywhere.
And packed with photos, including a photo of book character Bill Holm.
Yes. And, if you want to see what I look like, buy the book.
So I told her, Featherbrained. I told the woman who did not believe that I saw the water thrush or heard the water thrush. She said, "Well, they usually like moving water."
Right.
And I said, "Well, I heard it 3 times."
Mm-hmm. That wasn't enough for her.
No.
She kept insisting it was something else, she was. I mean, just the typical sort of arrogant, disbelieving, sort of sour birder that thinks they know everything and no one else doesn't know anything.
And so a little group of people came by. And she asked the gentleman there, mentioned water thrush, and he said, oh, yes, he had heard it too.
Uh-huh. And that sort of shut her up.
But what the tail end of the story is that I said to her, see, I'm not crazy. And she kind of laughed and she touched me.
She did. That was frightening.
And she said, well, you know who that is, don't you? And I said, no. She said, well, he wrote the book on warblers. And I said, the warbler guy? Yes. I said, I don't remember. I said, Stephenson. So she had to wait for Stephenson to tell her.
That's right.
That it was a northern water thrush. It wasn't good enough that the author of Featherbrained
from University of Michigan Press,
available in bookstores everywhere, packed with photos. I'm here in northern Perla.
Are we in peril?
We are. And but anyway, any other stories to wrap up? Because we still have several minutes to fill.
Boy, that's going to be tough.
We did it last year. We stood on the estrogen trail, and we finished up. But there's still a lot of birding to do, so I think what we're going to do, we'll bird a little while on our way back, and maybe when we get to the car, maybe by then we'll have some closing thoughts.
I think so. I think if we reflect, we pause, we reflect, and then we refine what we're going to say a bit.
We what? Okay, we'll be back in a little while.
What Were You Thinking? We'll be right back after Bob gets the ducks out of his living room. Don't go away.
Hanukkah, the German shepherd that I rescued, was stinky, skinny, and scrawny, full of skin rashes and scratching. And I started feeding Hanukkah Dinovite, and he became such a happier, itch-free, stink-free dog that I dug deeper into the website.
DINOVITE.com.
What if, in addition to Dinovite, we do the raw beef and the egg diet and see what happens? Forget all these 50-pound bags of formulated, extruded, processed cereal bits that cost a ton of money anyways. This dog's as close to a wolf as you can get. They're carnivores. With just the raw meat and the eggs and the Dinovite and Super Omega on top of it, it just balances out his body and his mind and his spirit. It's unbelievable. Hey, if you're thinking about rescuing a dog, you got to start them out on Dinovite. DINOVITE.com.
859-428-1000. DINOVITE.com.
Hi, I'm Dana Humphrey, the founder of Whitegate PR. We have been specializing in PR and marketing in the pet industry for over 10 years. If you have a pet product or service you would like to promote, give us a call. We can help create awareness for your brand on TV, radio, magazines, newspapers, and blogs. Feel free to reach me directly at 619-414-9307 or learn more on our website at whitegatepr.com or follow us on Facebook.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com. Okay, ducks are in the pond, rabbits in his hutch, and monkeys... Ow! In my car! Oh, okay, well, I go check my insurance policy. We'll turn you back over to Bob.
Hi, Bill.
Hey, Bob.
Here we are doing our wrap-up, and I'd like to explain...
Let's put a bow on it.
And put it under the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
I hope you left cookies out for Santa.
I did.
Windmill cookies and jelly beans.
Jelly beans. It's a special gift to our listeners.
Yep, just like all the love. I hope all the love that's in my heart has come through this podcast.
I think it has.
I think so, too. So... you might have been wondering while you were listening to the podcast what those several minutes of audio verite were, with little bits of conversation with birders, and I'm sure you heard me in there, and some birds in the background, including, at one point, a northern water thrush. And that's the key to what that audio is doing there. Isn't that right, Bill?
It's vindication.
That's right.
Audio vindication.
And I just happened to be recording when the woman that Bill was talking about who doubted the oral evidence.
She scoffed.
And I don't know how she missed hearing it, because it was singing while she was right there, of the northern water thrush.
I know. She's a big phony.
Well, and let's contrast her to... now, it was pretty chilly this morning, but when we were at the restaurant, I think that's why the birds came through, because there was a warm front that came through the restaurant.
And there certainly was.
And when we left, as we were paying our bill, our waitress, very nice person, asked us...
are you birders?
And our reaction to that was horror.
I said, is it that obvious?
I said, do we really look like dullards? And in fact, she was very nice about it, and she said...
why, yes, she carries binoculars in the car.
And then she told us all about an eagle that she's been observing that has a couple little eaglets.
Yes, and she said she stops every day to look. She even leaves work a little early so she'd be sure to see them.
I was sort of aghast at that because she seemed like such a very normal kind of person.
She was good-natured. She seemed happy. She seemed healthy.
Very healthy. And I just thought it was very interesting, although I'm a little disconcerted that we were identified as birders, but she said, well, you aren't some of the regulars.
Right. But I think it was more than that.
Yeah. It might have already started affecting us. And another reason I bring that up is because one reason we saw so many birds, including the prairie warbler, was that a child shall lead them.
Yes. She was, how old would you say she was?
Well, it wasn't just her. It was about 3.
Well, there were 3, but she was in particular extraordinary, I thought. Well, they all were. But she was so young.
Yeah, what would you say? Like
9? 10?
And how about the others?
11, 12, 13, 14?
Yeah. I mean, they were kidlets.
But yes, I mean, she would hear something and go, there's the prothon, and she'd stand up on the bench and she'd look, there it is. And, before anybody else. The other kid saw the prairie warbler.
Yeah, he
heard it and pointed it out right away.
Right. And
they knew everything.
Yeah, they knew all these birds. And someone asked the one kid, they couldn't believe, they said, oh, we want you to come with us and, so that we can find all the birds. And they said, how long have you been birding? And he said, oh, well, I've been doing this since last August.
Yeah.
And that's amazing because I've been doing this 20-some years, and I have no idea what I'm doing.
Well, I the only bird I can identify sometimes is a cardinal.
Right, and a crow?
Yes, I can identify a crow.
Mm-hmm. So...
caw!
And
in Florida, they go, uh-oh.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Was the fish crows?
Yes.
Well, speaking of crows and fish crows, I hope that we have given you something to crow about in this podcast because
we're bringing it to a close now. If you like what you heard today, spread the word that this is a fine podcast to listen to, and there's even more entertainment to be had if you read Bob Tart's brand new book, Featherbrained. You'll find lots of information at bobtart.com, published by University of Michigan Press, with several appearances by book character Bill Holm in the book. I'm hoping my brother can lend me a copy, so maybe I can read it sometime. Yeah, I don't even have a copy to lend you, unfortunately, or I'd let you read it. Well, no, it's okay. I'll deal with it on my own. Okay. We'll see. And I'm hoping the listeners buy out the complete inventory from University of Michigan Press. And after hearing this podcast, how could they hold themselves back from buying multiple copies? This is going to launch the University of Michigan Press into a whole new dimension. No more Etruscan pottery pattern books. No, and in fact, I have heard that we are only in second place in sales behind Doric Columns and You, A Modern Perspective. So, that's pretty darn good. So sell a couple more copies, we might be up there. Well, maybe so. So thanks to everybody for listening. It's only, how much does it cost? It's only like $20-some, isn't it? Well, yeah, if you get it online, it's even cheaper. Well, that's for sure. And there will be a Kindle version coming out soon and other ebook versions with color photos. Ooh. Color photos. I'll look at the photos anyway. All right. So thank you, everyone, for listening to this fine two-part podcast. Thanks to our esteemed producer, Doug the Subway Fugitive Berman. And wait a minute. That's all right. And so that's it for What Were You Thinking? Look for me on Facebook. And Bill, do you want people to friend you on Facebook? No. Bye-bye.
Thinking about buying a monkey? How about a ferret or a skunk? Then check out the show that will answer the burning questions. Where do you get them? What do you feed them? How do you take care of them? And most of all, what were you thinking? With exotic pet expert and author Bob Tart. Every week on demand from PetLifeRadio.com.